Hello, and welcome to episode 98 of the Book Wars Pod. I'm Kristen. I'm here with Kate and Chris. We were supposed to have Miranda, but she's gone to bed. It's Friday.
It is. It's really late to be in her defense.
I mean, it's late for her. It's an hour later for you guys, and you guys were like, "Can we push it later?" So
we had to cook food.
it's fine. She gave me my sandwich, and then she laid down on the couch.
That's
And then
fine.
I was like, "Oh no, she's gone. We've lost her." So yeah, Miranda went to bed because she was a little tired burb. And I had to pick up a dog crate, so I had to drive, and she just kept drinking. So, I mean, who could blame her? That was correct.
As you said, it's Friday.
Fuck yeah. She wasn't driving anywhere. She walked down to #Daddy Mojos, which is the dive bar down the street from us.
Blessings.
Sandwich. Speaking of drinking, what are you guys drinking right now?
As Kate gestures at me to go first, I'm drinking rum. It is the rum that I've had on the pod before, I think. It's Diplomatico Reserva Exclusiva. I want to say it's out of Venezuela, but it's like really pretty sweet with kind of like a caramelized banana taste to it with like a little bit of chocolate aftertaste. It's really good.
God, that sounds good.
It's super good. It's very affordable because rum is cheap because racism.
Yep.
That's right. What about you, Mom?
I am having a... Please don't explode.
Did you just open that can twice?
What?
There were two.
Well, I opened it halfway and then I lost my grip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And she needed to make sure it wasn't going to explode.
Exactly. I am having a lemon Trader Joe's brand White Claw because Chris gave away... I only have lemon because they didn't have pomegranate at the store, and Chris gave away my last pomegranate White Claw to our shithead friend who didn't want to drink
solidly
beer.
More than a week and a half ago.
Yeah,
this happened.
And I wasn't able to drink my White Claw because I was sick.
People don't forget.
So, fuck you, man.
The North remembers.
Yeah. I'm drinking Three-Way IPA again by Fort George. But new this week, we had two friends of the pod who will never listen to the podcast over. Sophie and Tommy were over. And Tommy, our wonderful friend, looks at the Three-Way IPA can and he goes, "Are they bros or are they gay?" Because it's the one with the three cats on it, and I just looked at him and I was like, "Tommy, they're cats." And he was like, "I know, but if they weren't cats, are they bros or are they gay?"
So
and
what you're saying is,
you know what? You're so right. And we determined that the one in the jumpsuit playing the saxophone is a bro, and the one playing the tambourine is gay with the one wearing the flannel playing the triangle. So
I mean,
that's where
okay.
we're at.
Yes, that's just correct.
It's not even subtext.
I know.
Yes. I'm like, first of all, they're cats. And Miranda just goes, "Cats can be gay." I'm like, I didn't say cats couldn't be gay, but they're not bros because bros are whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, that was very funny. And thank God for Tommy for asking the important questions. Tommy will never listen to this podcast. Although I did drag him today and say Tommy doesn't know what a podcast is. And he said, "I listen to podcasts every morning." And I was like, fuck me then. You are the best, Tommy. He is the best. Great. We love Tommy on this podcast. Should we Star Wars?
Oh, I just one small thing.
No Star Warsing.
Hey, it is Star Wars related. If I keep meaning to mention this on the actual podcast, and then I don't because my brain is still full of holes. because of existential panic over teaching children. It's fine. But if y'all haven't checked it out yet, Star Wars Rep Matters now has a shiny new website as of a few weeks ago, and we've been posting like fairly often, just some opinion pieces and various things. We've got I just self-plug, just wrote up a little rant about the ending of Star Wars Resistance, which I will never forgive, ever.
So upset.
Ever.
So upset.
I will never forgive it ever.
I was legitimately like fuming on Thursday morning, whatever day it was.
It went on a tweet rant, and he's like off Twitter right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I went on a more aggressive tweet rant than I usually do.
It was very reasonable, I thought, Chris.
Well, then I calmed down.
It was still... I'm still irked.
My original one was not reasonable.
Nice. So that's up. Our friend at Fourth Wall, I think he just posted his post just worshiping at the feet of Ray Sloan, and I know we've got lots of Ray Sloan fans listening, so definitely check that out. And yeah, we've got big plans in the works. We've got new contributors who are all fucking awesome, and we are looking forward to bringing you a lot of really cool content. So go shove that in your RSS feeds or whatever the fuck people do these days.
If you're listening to this podcast and you're not looking at Star Wars Rep Matters, stop listening to this podcast and go look at Star Wars Rep Matters. If you only have room for one thing, go do that, not this.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm not kidding.
Oh, God.
But like in a safe way.
Yes. I also didn't say what we were reading. We're reading Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray. Chapters 12 through 25.
I thought you might have missed that, but, you know, I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
I, of course, did not say it. I went on a rant and talked about cats. It's fine. Should we talk about how stupid the Pajal Treaty is?
Oh.
And how right the opposition is with their fucking
my God.
fuckboy balloons? I love it.
Yes. So, yeah. This is a problem.
It's fucking Rael. He's the goddamn worst.
He's a bad Jedi and also a bad person.
Yeah. No, that's correct. That's a correct estimate of the situation.
Which is why I was like, oh, I like this guy. I was like, what did he do? What is he going to do? And here it is. He's just like, oh, shall I just encapsulate the institution of slavery into the governance structure of this entire planet forever and ever? Yeah, sure, that sounds fun. What? Why would you? What?
Yeah, I know we're going to continue to drag him more, and we've been dragging him constantly, as we always do, but, like, why does, like, Yoda agree with him?
Yoda's so... Rael is the worst Jedi ever, except for every other Jedi, especially Yoda.
He's just like, Qui-Gon calls him up in the middle of the fucking night, and he's like, bro, they are trying to perpetuate slavery here for always and forever, and he's like,
which is illegal, TM.
I know, but Yoda's over here like, but the highway.
I know, and Yoda like just falls into this like false equivalency of, well, we're either going to have it or we're not going to have it. Like, no, you can change the treaty. Like, it's not signed yet. That's the point. You can fix it.
Right.
That's why this dumb idiot is calling you. Like, he's literally like, hey, can I get a help? And he's like, oh, no, there's only one fucker on the council right now. And it's the frog that hates me.
Only a Sith deals with absolutes, except for Yoda.
Bwah, bwah, bwah.
Yoda is the worst, and he comes up with this bullshit. Well, I don't think you should be so judgmental because some species are arachnids and eat their young. So maybe don't judge people for alternative lifestyles. And it's so fucking stupid.
It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. I can't, like, I was like reading it and I was like, if this wasn't correct characterization, I would be like, why the fuck was this written? And then I'm like, this is just so Yoda, and I'm so angry, and he's such a piece of shit.
Yep. As a big side note, I really enjoyed finally meeting the opposition, especially because we've been told throughout the book so far that they are a troupe of fucking performance artists.
Theater
and
kids fuck.
What?
I said theater kids fuck.
Yeah, they do. But also,
Sorry.
listen, no offense to people who do performance art or who are into that, but it's like, honest to God, just the weirdest form of like creative expression that probably exists right now, as you can see by the many examples in this book. And I was just waiting to meet this giant pack of weirdos, and I was not disappointed in the fucking slightest. Like, the bit where Qui-Gon's like, "You're sure you're not terrorists?" And this bitch is like, "That guy plays the fucking drums. No, we are not terrorists." It was my most favorite thing.
Oh, I can't, like, I have it on next time we're together. Not biblically. Next time we're in the same room, I will. God. Sorry, I hate saying the next time we're together.
Okay.
I will play. Sorry, I'm gonna cut that out. Am I? I will play you the audiobook because it makes the guy who says like that guy's a drummer sound like the accent I just did. It makes him sound like the fucking turtle from Finding Nemo.
Oh my god, amazing!
We're not terrorists. That guy's a drummer.
Oh
I'm
my
God. It's the worst, but also it made me laugh so hard.
I mean, it's not wrong. Certainly.
I'm like, it certainly fucking paints the picture, doesn't it?
Chris is fucking rocking back in his chair right now, and also like has been booping his fucking potato on his desk and making squeaky noises.
They're not getting picked up by the mic because I can hear myself.
I hate you so much. Continue.
Okay. I was just gonna say I realize why it had to happen for story reasons, but I'm really sad that we didn't meet Hale and Azuka earlier than we did.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Because I feel like she's such an interesting character that we just don't get a ton of.
She really is, and she really like did a great job. It was really funny because they were like, you got like a fucker that I don't agree with. Avros was like, you got worked over by this gal, and they were like, maybe so. I was like, oh, okay, great. We're all everyone's lying. Great, cool. No one's lying. I don't understand. I mean, I do understand, but it was very funny because I was like, yeah, she seems very trustworthy. And then like, Ral was like, you fucking got worked. She worked you over. She knows what to say to you. And I was like, oh, that's it. That's probably true. I should also not trust people as a reader of this book.
But she worked them over with facts.
Yeah, like Rael is notoriously not the best judge of character since he kind of hates everybody.
True.
Just a little bit.
Cannot emphasize this enough. He is the worst. Like, he is so... It's really interesting that we are learning more about... Like, he's kind of the poster child for learning more about the various spectrums of, like, Jedi. Because obviously you've always had the platonic ideal of starting with Obi-Wan and Yoda. And then Qui-Gon was kind of like the hippie platonic ideal who didn't like labels in Phantom Menace. But, like, now we have Rael, who is, like, not dark side, but just terrible.
It's true. My favorite part of this, besides him throwing a whole fucking tantrum and not listening to Qui-Gon, because that's always a good choice, is Qui-Gon, like, is like, oh, God, I had the weirdest fucking dream. I'm gonna go talk to Rael about it. Walks in. That's boobies.
He's fucking. I love how Rael was like, I get why he walked in, but fucking rude.
Incredible.
Honestly, the best thing he's done in this book.
Right? I was also interested in their conversation about, whether Jedi are meant to be completely celibate or just not be in, deep romantic relationship or whatever the fuck, because, obviously Rael is banging the innkeep for stress relief or whatever the fuck, I don't know. But he
And
accuses,
who knows who else?
yes. But he accuses Qui-Gon of like having been in love with somebody in the past, and I see you asking Keeks on the outline if we know who that is, and we do not. But it does kind of present this interesting wrinkle in Qui-Gon's character, I think, especially knowing Obi-Wan's history with Satine and what happens with Kanan and Hera and all this other shit.
Yeah, I love how Obi, like, I mean, man, it's hard that Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan have names that rhyme that are both hyphenate because they get, like, it's already hard for me to keep things straight. Anyway,
They've been people since you were like 10, but okay.
I know, sorry. I know, but it's just, listen, I struggle.
Oh my god.
But Qui-Gon's like, yeah, I was in love, but you're just fucking. And Rael's like, yeah, you shouldn't have fucking been in love, my dude. Like,
Yeah, it's like, is that a point in your favor?
Pot kettle black, glass house rocks,
Yep.
etc.
All of them.
Hate
All
it when you
right.
throw the kettle at that glass house.
That's right. Don't throw the kettle at the glass house unless you want to break the ceiling. That's how it goes.
That got weird.
Oh my god. But do we? I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who cares about this because I'm shipper trash. But do we? I don't know. Do we have feelings about Qui-Gon's, I don't know, reaction of like straight up like anger and shame regarding his sordid youth or whatever the fuck?
It tells me it's a stupid fucking rule.
You don't say.
You mean the Jedi have stupid
Yes.
rules?
Wait. No way.
And I mean, and obviously we're
Bigotry.
getting more of this, and who knows what's going to happen to the Jedi as an institution after Rise of Skywalker comes out. But the fact that, like, it's clearly unspoken that everybody breaks this rule anyway, and we
Jedi
just
fuck.
don't talk about it.
Jedi just fuck.
Yeah, like, it's just like Master Braylon had a fucking kid in Dooku Jedi Lost, and like at the end of the day, his relationship with Padme and like feeling boxed in like he needed to hide it was part of what drove Anakin to the dark side. And so like again, like they grilled the hot dog and threw it on the floor and then picked it up.
Chris,
They
this
grilled the hot dog, Kate.
Listen,
fucking metaphor.
I'm never gonna let this metaphor go. They're just they are to use a more Star Wars is this Star Wars?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it is. It's Thrawn. They are the architects of their own destruction.
Wow.
I was like, I know it's familiar. Who said it? It's Thrawn.
Of course it is. Only he would talk about architecture.
Exactly. But yeah, it's
No one
so.
has
I
ever-
mean, what does it tell me about
no one
Obi
else in-
Teen?
No one else in history has ever been the architect of their own destruction, so it has to be
No.
Star Wars.
It's
Yep.
true.
No, Star Wars is definitely not about that. It's not a trope we see. But yeah, I mean, about Obi Teen, it tells me that if Qui-Gon had been more open about his past relationships, maybe Obi-Wan would have been more open with Anakin about his past relationships. Maybe Anakin wouldn't have gone crazy.
Anakin
I'm
probably
reading-
still would have gone crazy because he's an idiot.
I mean, fair point.
I am like at this point, I'm reading Brene Brown on the side, and all she does is talk about shame and vulnerability and how shame is like dangerous for human relationships and therefore like dangerous for like generally like creating toxic culture. And I'm just over here just being like, this is that. Right. In a
Wait, which
nutshell.
book are you reading?
Daring Greatly.
Yeah, Brene
Yeah.
Brown's the best. If you don't
She
know who we're
is.
talking about, look her up. She is. Even if you think you don't like self-help books, you can
She's-
benefit from literally any of the books that she's written. So
It's true. She go on YouTube and just look up her TED Talks because she's a social psychology researcher, and literally her specialties are shame and vulnerability, which sounds like you don't want to listen to it, but you do.
Kate, what do you think it tells us about Canera specifically?
I mean, Canera's just like the poster relationship for how, a respectful and loving and balanced partnership can really bring out the best in everyone involved in that. It's always been interesting to me that Kanan just when he stopped being a Jedi, just like threw all the rules out the window and then cherry picked the ones that he felt actually mattered, which he did pretty well, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, and that was Depa Bilala's influence. If you haven't read the Kanan comics, definitely do, because it talks about his relationship with his master when he was a Padawan. But yeah, like he's I mean, he has the benefit of having lived in the real world and knows what I suppose the Jedi kind of got wrong and what they did. And I think he has a clearer perspective on all of that as opposed to Qui-Gon or Obi-Wan, who, as they say repeatedly in the book, this is all they've ever known.
Yeah.
So
I would also argue that, like, not only does being in a relationship not hurt him, but Hera gives him the balance and the selflessness that he needs to really become a true Jedi.
Absolutely. And and he has the emotional maturity and the self-awareness, towards the end of the series, which Kanan doesn't die, it's fine. But where he's just like, I can't, when he's talking to Ezra about saving Hera from the Empire's evil clutches, he's like, my emotions are going to be clouded my judgment, so I need you to take point on this. And that's an emotional maturity that I think hardly any of the Jedi honestly have. So
yeah, absolutely.
You should be allowed to be in a relationship, but only if you're in therapy. What?
Yeah.
What?
Well, because it takes the fact that they don't need, quote unquote, to hide it, I think takes the shame out of it. And like kind of how you were talking about with Brene Brown, like honestly, a lot of like self-help stuff does go into it, because what drives Qui-Gon to feel anger is his shame. What drives Rael to do all of this shit is his shame over what happened to Nim. What drives Anakin is his shame over his relationship with Padme. But at the end of the day, it's like that shame morphs into selfishness and a desire to protect oneself, and like and it becomes not love of the other person, but like selfishness and protecting of yourself. Like if you think about in Attack of the Clones, when where's Miranda? If you think about in Attack of the Clones, when Padme falls out of the gunship and Anakin like is about to quit the Jedi Order and jump out the window after her, like
literally rage quit and jump out the window.
Yes. But literally, he does not say like she is in danger. He says, I need her. And it's, in addition to being bad writing, I think it's very telling where Anakin's head is at when the chips are down. Like, he loves Padme, but like he loves Padme because she makes him feel good, worthy, whatever word you want to use.
Or with her, he's allowed to feel literally anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
so
and like
removing that shame is crucial for Kanan's connection to the Force, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think like in a fucked up way, like the repression that like the Jedi are meant to go through, like makes, I think like this is what both of you said already, but it makes them more susceptible to the dark side, that they don't have like this kind of like good round idea and understanding around their feelings, right? It's that like feelings are bad.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
have feelings. And
yeah.
like it puts them in such a terrible position to like when if they finally like get that first taste of power, like if they're at all susceptible to like falling into that trap of what that feels like, they're taught as Jedi, like as soon as you go after power, like it's bad, right? But I think it's like such human nature to feel that, and like just saying it's bad, you can't like explore that, is like part of why at least like in what we know of the canon so far, like so many folks who were in the Jedi. Sorry, I'm belching into the mic. So many folks who are in the Jedi Order, like end up turning at least away from the Jedi Order, if not to the dark side.
Right, yeah, no, it's definitely less about here's how to manage emotions because they are normal, and I'm gonna put these in a box and shoot into space and
Eat
then
them.
blow it up. Yep.
Yeah. And also, I think it applies beyond romantic relationships too, and it applies to family because look at Luke. Like in Return of the Jedi, it's his love for his friends that helps him make the correct decision that he needs to go face Vader and the Emperor, and it's his love for his father and his belief and attachment to his father that makes him sorry, I just burped.
We're all belching.
It'd be like
that helps him overcome the pull of the dark side and beat the Emperor and beat the Emperor's plan. And so there's just so much evidence that the aspect of the Jedi Code that dictates that you have no attachments and that you don't love is like not only useless but counterproductive.
Right. I mean, if the Skywalker saga has told us anything, it's that like love is probably like the most ultimate act of hope there is. And so
blah, blah, blah.
maybe let us experience that. You know, whether that's for your found family or, you know, or whatever the hell else, like that it's just such a central theme of Star Wars that if you can't have Star Wars if you take it out.
This is why I'm really glad that Ryan is getting wide open space for his new trilogy. Because I thought that Ryan got the difference between being a Jedi and being a traditional Jedi and loving people and having relationships really down pat in The Last Jedi with how Rey's selflessness is born out of her love for others.
Absolutely. And I mean, Rose fucking says it, so
yeah,
there you are.
It's so true. Now that we've totally dismantled everything the Jedi Order was built on, allegedly, what should the role of the Jedi be?
To fucking yeet themselves into the ether.
Maybe like saying no to slaves would be like a great tenet. No, we can't have that one. No, that's no.
I know.
No.
Fuck me.
Okay, great.
It's so.
I feel like it's carved on the inside of the Last Jedi tree. It just says like no fucking slaves, you dumb idiot Jedis. But like they missed that. So.
Yeah, I mean it's this commitment to the ideals. And Kristen, I don't know, was it you or Kate who wrote this last point in this topic?
Which one?
Oh, the ones about
one about how
Nazis
it's
being
Persian.
bad.
Yes.
Who do you think it was?
It was me.
I assumed. I figured, but I didn't want to assume. So
I wrote prescient, so it was fair for Chris to assume it was not me. Fair enough.
Self-burn. Kristen, do you want to talk about that point? Because I think that it is an absolutely perfect analogy.
Sure. And the reason it was top of mind for me, just to be totally transparent, is you guys all know this. I'm a huge soccer fan, and the MLS came out with a stupid fuck shit policy that was like, there's no quote unquote like political like signage and language and stuff in it's not allowed in any MLS stadiums, which
Fucking God.
obviously like they get millions of dollars from the military every year to like do flyovers and army, you know all of this stuff. Anyway, so this kind of all started when like not to be like yay Portland, but we were told we weren't allowed to fly the Iron Front flag anymore, and it's a historically anti-fascist symbol, and we're all really angry about it, and basically everybody's like, fascism is bad, Nazis are bad. That's not a political, we're not making a political statement when we say that.
No,
like that shouldn't be
That's a fact.
Right.
They're bad.
Yeah. What and like that. They're if you're interested at all in any of that, a lot of the independent supporters group around the MLS and the NWSL are working together to see what we can do about that and kind of throw. I mean, we're the folks who make that organization run. We buy the tickets and the merch and all of that stuff. So it's hashtag a united front, and it's all basically the independent supporters groups around the MLS and some of the NWSL, which is the women's league. So if you're interested in any of that, look it up. But I I was like, Yoda, no, slavery is not a political opinion. Like
Oh man.
That's not what it is. Just like it's not political speech for us to say fascism is bad inside a Major League Soccer stadium.
Right.
So fuck you, Yoda. And also Nazis are bad and fuck fascism.
Yeah, and like to me it is the classic, it's the hole that the mainstream Democratic Party has like gotten itself into and the media willingly plays into with
fuck me.
The real problem is that everybody's just rude. Calling people Nazis is rude. Can't we use other words than racist? Like, can't we use like racially tinged, like whatever the fucking New York Times does these days? Like,
Boo.
and it's like, no, like these are not hard questions. These are not big philosophical questions. Like the murder of entire groups of people based on race, ethnicity, etc. is bad. That's not a debate. Enslaving people, again, there are issues because it's a galaxy, there are different species and whatever, but as Qui-Gon says, this is humans enslaving humans. Enslaving members of your own society for no reason other than a corporation wants you to is bad. That's not a political opinion, and that's not something that like the Jedi should be like, oh, take no sides, can we?
Please don't ever do that again. That was horrid.
Fascist Yoda can eat my ass.
In case that wasn't clear.
Chris, that was dreadful. And I'm frightened. Continue.
Can we name this episode Fascist Yoda Can Eat My Ass?
Yes.
Oh my god, yes. Because it's true.
And he's such a fucking hypocrite because when Qui-Gon's like, what if we didn't have slavery? Yoda's like, oh, do you want to rule? Sounds like fascism to me.
I know. Well, can we talk? I have it on the do I have it on the Yes, I have it on the outline.
All cap screaming, go on. This is a great point.
All cap screaming.
This is a great point.
I was like, wait, so like Qui-Gon is on the correct side of this when he calls Yoda up in the middle of the night and he's for some reason Yoda's available. Does he sleep?
Frogs don't sleep.
No sleepy frog. Anyway, we see one of the first things we see Qui-Gon do in like episode 1, not one of the first things, but like one of our first, in the timeline of shit that we've seen Qui-Gon do, one of the first things that we've seen Qui-Gon do is be like, I will take this chosen boy and I will use the Force to get him, and I'm not going to save his mom even though they're both slaves. And I'm like, isn't this the damn ass opposite of like literally all the shit that he's talking about? Or am I like fucking smoking spice over here? Like what is going on? What and I want to know like what happened to Qui-Gon that made him like slavery is bad and we shouldn't have it, and like say to himself like, and I know we don't have the I don't have the benefit of having read the whole book, but he's like, okay, if Yoda says we can't, like, I can't be supreme leader and stop all slavery, which is not what I was trying to do anyway, then, like, I will do what I can to stop slavery in this way. Like, what happened between then and when he's like, I guess you can go fuck yourself, Shmi. Like,
Yeah.
it boggles the mind.
I think part of it is that he's old and jaded. These are reasons, not excuses, obviously. Like, nothing excuses that. Yeah, like just so we're all very fucking clear, slavery is, as we have been saying, is fucking bad.
Retweets of Qui-Gon's actions are not endorsements.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think part of it is that he's older and he's more jaded. I think part of it is because he's older and more jaded, he does not want to cause a galactic incident or whatever the fuck with the Hutts, because that would be bad. Like, is that worse than slavery? Extremely fucking debatable, but I think that's probably part of his reasoning. I think third of all, he is so fucking like gobsmacked by the fact that he thinks he found the chosen one that he's like, let me just like hurry the fuck this child off this shitty sand planet so we can poke it away. Yeah, so we can like fucking do like a fucking vivisection of him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's his obsession with the prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes sense. I mean, we start seeing that here. And I'm sure we'll see it more during this.
And, like, I would like to repeat, it's not good by any stretch, but I think probably all these things are at play here. But, yeah, no, he's a fucking hypocrite, and it's fucking bad.
Yeah.
No question.
And, I mean, on the one hand, like, for all their faults, Qui-Gon has chosen to remain a Jedi. That is, and he says to Obi-Wan, it's a conscious choice to be a Jedi. But he also, so, like, he knows immediately that regardless of what happens to her, Shmi will have no part in Anakin's life. Like, there is no scenario in which they continue to have a relationship while Anakin is a Jedi. However, again, that's not to excuse it, because you know what you could do? Help her not be a slave. Again, it's not an either or situation here.
Literally anything besides like, gotta take your son, see you never.
I know, like smell you later, Shmi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. God, that pisses me off.
Yeah, no, it's, you know, it always sat funny with me. It sat funny with me when I was a kid, but like as I get older, every time I watch it, I'm just like, I'm so fucking angry.
Yeah.
Very bad. So let's get back to the original question of what should the role of the Jedi be? How should they figure out what their role should be? What do y'all think?
Oh no, ask somebody besides yourselves, you fuckers.
Yeah.
This is like white people trying to solve diversity and inclusion all over again.
Bruh. It's too fucking real. The other thing is that, like, they're always just like, oh, politicians are so evil and we don't want to be entwined with the government. We are a separate entity. And I'm like, no, you're not. You are literally the Senate's bitches. Maybe stop doing that.
Well, and they're like, we serve the Republic, not the other way around. And I'm like, okay, so like you can't say you're apolitical and also say that you serve the Republic.
Yeah.
That serving the Republic is not being apolitical. That's serving the Republic.
Yeah, that is standing on the side of the status quo. That is a political action.
Right. And it's yeah, no, funnily enough, doing nothing is a decision you make.
Blah, blah, blah.
If we haven't learned that by now, I don't know when we will. But yeah, also
the Jedi certainly haven't.
Jesus. Honestly, the thing with the Jedi is like sometimes I'm just like, literally pick anything and stick to it and be consistent, because at least that would be a start.
No fucking, but like everybody fucks, so
yeah.
Their stance is we say no fucking.
Well, to me, it's interesting because, like, obviously you have these different views, right? Like, Qui-Gon thinks they should fight the big fights. They should abolish slavery. They should, you know, do what's right. Take the big stands.
Well, like, slavery is allegedly supposed to be abolished. So, like, I'm with Qui-Gon in that fight that he's like, why don't we just enforce the fucking law then? And Yoda's like, why don't you enforce the law in my ass? It's very loud.
mean, really? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that, you know, any of the stories about any Star Wars story is born out of the imagination of people who have grown for the most part, in Western capitalistic societies and all of the like any government at any level you find in Star Wars is susceptible, therefore, to all the ills of capitalism that we have here, because that's kind of what we can imagine. And so, them being like, well, slavery is bad, but Zerka's a corporation and that's just their private property. Like, yikes.
Yeah.
So really,
Yikes.com.
Yeah, no. So, basically, what the Jedi should do is be virulently anti-racist and speciesist and anti-capitalist. The end.
Yeah. I mean, it's because, like, taking at face value, which one shouldn't, but taking at face value Yoda's objection that, like, you think this is the right battle, and even if it's the right battle, you deciding for yourself what the right battle is dangerous because power, etc., etc. That's a fake argument, but taking it at face value.
It's called having a conscience, but go on.
Yeah. So, like, that's one option. If we think back to Dooku, Jedi Lost, and Dark Disciple, Dooku himself and Quinlan Vos are kind of both the why are we even talking about big things? Why don't we just find evil people like gangsters and kill them? Like, and that's like kind of a different view, and there's these different views, and it's all super hard because it's not like there's some all-powerful, all-knowing force that is trying to drive you toward the light that you could just ask. It's not like that. Oh, wait.
Hold up a minute.
I'm over
and I
here
think
like,
this is...
Por qué no los bofa?
I know, right?
Oh,
like, it's so
Jesus.
indicative of how badly the Jedi have lost their way, that they're more tied to dogma than to what the Force is telling them. Like, I guarantee you, if Yoda asked the Force if he should allow these people to be sold into fucking slavery for, like, stealing a grapefruit, like, I'm fairly I'm not a doctor, but I did stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night. I think that the Force would have said, hey, maybe, like, shake that magic 8-ball again.
Oh my god.
The Force would have
Wait.
said, if you're asking me this, I'm sending the Space Moose after you. You dumb
Yo.
frog.
What a mood. Chris, I have to ask, why grapefruit?
It's a Melu
Couldn't tell you.
run.
I have no idea. Just popped into my head.
It's got all kinds of space fruit you could name. A grapefruit.
Well,
Grapefruit. Space grapefruit?
Melu run, I assume.
No, space grapefruit.
Okay, great. Good talk. I remembered one thing, and he goes, no, space
No, you did. I was very proud of you, Kristen.
I know things. There's a whole fucking Rebels episode about literally Melu runs.
That there is.
And thank God. And thus was born the greatest headcanon of all time, called Hera craved Melu runs non-fucking stop while she was pregnant with Jason.
Oh, it's so good.
I know.
We have like other... Man, I'm so proud of us. We talked about like semi-cogent things on this episode. Should we talk about the prophecies?
Sure! Speaking of... Well, no, those
I have
aren't
so many thoughts on the prophecies.
These are not semi-cogent. That's like, go on, you.
Yeah, this is... Did I write... No, I don't think I... Oh, I did make the point, and then someone said, Chris, this isn't Harry Potter.
Yes, that was me.
I'm excited. All
I
right.
know.
Chris has
I feel bad. I'm
Aren't you
talking
guys
so much
Aren't
this
you guys
episode.
excited? Not only did I read the outline, but I like put points in the outline and
Oh,
then
we are
read
very
it
excited.
again. Usually I just
I'm
put
very
points
proud
in
of
the
you,
outline
Kristen.
and don't read it.
I feel bad because I just like happened to write a lot of this outline because I was the first one to get to it, and so I'm just talking a lot this episode.
No,
so.
I don't. I actually think you're very well balanced this episode, Chris.
Well, thank
We've
you.
all talked about a lot of things.
Sure have. But Chris. Hey, Chris. Fuck you.
Yep.
Okay.
Miranda
Chris,
said,
you're
"Don't
doing
drag
fine,
her."
but just for the record, for good measure, fuck you.
Yep.
Um,
Eat my butt.
Miranda said, "Don't drag me too hard on the episode." I was like, Miranda, just go to sleep.
We haven't even
No.
dragged her at all.
No one cares. I mean, like, we miss you, but also, it's Friday. You're supposed to get drunk. If you had
Go
a hard
sleep.
week, do that.
Go
Honestly,
to sleep.
when she said she was going to bed, I didn't even realize she was drunk. I kind of just assumed it was her bedtime.
Yo, me too.
Yo, it was her bedtime is part of it.
Oh my god.
She was like, I'm just so tired. And I'm like, and also you've had like 15 IPAs probably, not 15, but whatever the small burb equivalent of that is. It's fine. She brought me a sandwich. It was very groundbreaking.
Yeah, it was. This is apropos of nothing, but like, so I read that conversation in the group chat between you two, and I was just like laughing, and Kate was like, "What?" And I was like, "Burb has Kristen's sandwich." And she was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I showed her the conversation on my phone, and I'm like, "I gave you no additional context. This conversation is just, Burb, do you have my sandwich?" Yes. Kristen responds, "Sandwich."
Well, it was a picture of the sandwich. And
Yes.
then when the picture of the sandwich came, I identified it as a sandwich.
Yes.
So that's what it was.
It was just very typical.
To be fair,
There's
that's
no
like what most
no
of the
context exists, nor was required.
Sometimes we talk about real things in the Slack for this podcast. In the text chain, no.
Absolutely
Not
not.
ever.
It's
Ever.
a no.
It's just
It's
shit
a no
post
for
memes.
me. It's shit
Does it-
post memes and like someone is drunk and has my sandwich.
Yep.
Is there a group chat in the world where people discuss real things?
I don't
Like a
think
group
so.
text specifically?
A lot of like my group texts with like my single friends, or where some of my friends are single, are like, what should I say to this person? Am I flirting?
Amazing.
And it's just like a bunch of like a couple people being like, you're doing it, you're doing great, sweetie. And
I love it.
the single people being like, why am I even fucking asking you idiots? And the rest of us being like, that is a great point. We're all idiots.
That would absolutely be me.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm not single, man.
I know.
That'd
It'd
be
I thank God every day for that. I'm like, I don't know how I tricked a good person to being with me, but like, thank God I don't have to date anymore because it's exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
God, if I was single, I would like make out with somebody at the end of the date and then like text the group chat. Wait, did that go well?
Did
I don't
they
know.
like me? Yeah, that's Miranda. Miranda's like, does my girlfriend like me?
Oh
Sorry.
my
Sorry,
God.
Miranda's girlfriend.
Well, check. We dragged her.
Yeah, there we
Yep,
go.
We got it. We waited long enough, and now here we are talking about the prophecies.
Yeah.
Dooku. Speaking of things that get Dooku nice and never mind.
Oh,
he
Jesus.
loves the prophecies. He is literally
Get him
like,
nice and wrapped up.
Yep. He's nice and very interested in them.
I hate you guys so very much.
Who made this point?
It's
It was
Chris,
me.
which is why I'm waiting for him to
Come on,
fucking
Chris,
talk.
make a point.
So yeah, like he is again in things we should have seen coming for 1,000, Alex. Like he is obsessed with the prophecies in like not in an academic way. Like
No, it's almost like he's just like, ooh, I would like to get back on heroin.
yeah, like maybe we should have checked his browser history.
Oh, fuck.
I
Like,
know.
but like
I love
he's
how
just,
he's like,
has
so you're not allowed to look at these anymore, but like from what I'm hearing you say, it sounds like you're gonna like look at them later, maybe after you're a Jedi. And Qui-Gon's like, yeah, maybe, I don't fucking know. I'm like
Qui-Gon's like that had never occurred to me.
Yeah, I'm
my
like,
God.
I know. He's like, I don't know. However old he was.
He's like
And-
13 and he's
yeah,
like,
he's
what?
like a kid, and he's like a proper child. And then Dooku's like, this is a good of a reason as any to study these, because without me, you could study them again in 13 years
Yeah,
or whenever
Chris,
the fuck.
What are you doing to your potato?
I'm squeezing it.
Okay, but you were like crushing
Doing what
it.
God intended.
You were crushing it between your leg and the desk, and it was really weird.
Okay, he's supposed to do whatever he wants with the potato, so he does not. I'm like literally playing Tetris as we speak, so I get it. I understand what having ADD
I'm pretty sure
is
Kate's
and
playing
not-
2 dots.
Okay, but neither of those things make that horrible fucking noise.
Oh, see,
well,
I can't
you won't
hear
let me
it.
have my phone out while we record.
Yeah, but you're supposed to squeeze the potato. You're not supposed to let the potato touch anything except for yourself.
This seems like a Jedi amount of rules for what I'm allowed to do with the potato.
Chris, I will stab you.
Chris, I'm gonna get you. I have a bunch of these like coil hair tie things that are like telephone wires.
Ooh.
Yes.
That like are totally silent and like make me happy. Just you like playing with them, not doing anything else with them, and making none noise. So I'll send you some.
Yeah, it sounds great.
He'll find
Yeah,
a way to
they're
make it
great.
noisy, I promise you.
I'm sure, but like it's a lot better than a regular hair tie or a proper rubber band. They're much more silent than those, so I get it. Some of us have problems fidgeting, and by that I mean literally everyone on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be doing something, or else we literally can't function.
Yep. Anyway, but yeah, about Dooku.
The prophecy is bad.
I was like, so I read Master and Apprentice when it first came out, which was about 2 weeks before Dooku Jedi Lost came out. I was a little disappointed there wasn't anything about the prophecies in Dooku Jedi Lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have no idea what is going on really in Dooku's brain when he is just like doing hits of prophecies or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, like we know his life story, but we still don't really know what led him to the dark side.
It seems like stress is the best,
Right?
best answer we have. I'm just like, he seems like stressed that no one wants to listen to him, which like is a good as terrible as reason as any to go to the dark side, honestly.
Yeah.
I get it. Sometimes it'd be like that.
But yeah, so I just really want to know what happened to make him hate the prophecies, and then what drew him back, like besides Qui-Gon. Or was it literally like he pretended to hate the prophecies so that he like wouldn't let him do it, and then it was literally like heroin, where he was just like in a room where Qui-Gon was looking at him, and it's like it's addiction.
Do it.
I don't know. Kind of seemed that way. That parting shot, as it were, that we got from that flashback where he's just transfixed.
Yeah.
So true. How do the prophecies...
This next point is mine too.
How do they work?
Yeah, so like
they're all in
it's
one
taken
holocron,
as
which like seems fake.
Yeah, like it's taken as gospel that these prophecies are, well, I guess it's not taken as gospel because the people are very skeptical. But like they're a thing, but like if they're all in one holocron, how does that happen? Like the same holocron was not passed to the person who had the dream conveniently after they had the dream for them to record it. Like, so were they relayed to people? Were they collected from various sources over the years and then put into the holocron? Like, was it like the King James Bible where like half of it's mistranslated anyway? Like, so it's just, there's so much about the prophecies that is so really typical of the Jedi and like so far from the Force and so wrapped up in Jedi bureaucracy that like I don't even know where to begin.
I say that, and I hear that, and I respect that, but Yoda has literally never really talked about the prophecies, so I respect them and think they're true.
So that leads you to believe that they have value.
Yoda has literally never talked about them, so I'm a prophecy believer at this time. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
You know what? That's a strong argument, and I can't find any holes in it.
Jesus. Chris, it's probably like some mix of all of the above, honestly. In terms of like where the fuck did they come from? How did they come to be recorded here? Like I could see people.
Where did they go?
Yes, I honestly, where do they go? Where do prophecies go when they die? I kind of wonder if it's like one of those things where like you record it and then it's like so secret and crazy that you just fucking like destroy it, all the other copies of it or something. But you never know.
Kind of like what I put in the outline, and someone dragged me and told me it wasn't Harry Potter. But
that was me.
I know. I literally just wrote they can only be taken by the one who made them or who they're about. But like, that's as good of a fucking like. I mean, this is good of a theory as any, and we know fucking nothing. It's just like the holocron is the Hall of Prophecy in Harry Potter. It's fine. It makes
Yep.
no fucking sense, TM.
Yeah. But, and here's kind of where I'm leading up to. How do they even work? Because it does seem that it has some real world applications when you look at the prophecy of the Chosen One.
Unfortunately.
Because this is the first time. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just was literally saying, unfortunately, it has some real world application.
I know, right? This is the first time we've actually seen officially the wording from the holocron of the prophecy of the Chosen One. And it specifically says, through the Chosen One, like through them, ultimate balance will be restored to the Force. And there's a few things in there that I have questions about, just in that clause.
Just a few.
Just a few. So, first of all, through them could mean a lot of different things. It could mean bring balance to. It could mean via their legacy or via their sacrifice balance is brought to. That is extremely ambiguous as to what that means. And two, ultimate balance feels a lot more final than balance. Like, brings balance to the Force seems like a one-time event. Ultimate balance feels like it should be longer than 30 years. And we know that the Force is out of balance again by The Force Awakens. Or before The Force Awakens, Kylo sets it out of balance.
That fucker.
Also, like, how does the space moose fit into all of this? It's my
Yes.
That's
But
my always question.
so, putting my tinfoil hat on,
Jeez.
what if Anakin's not the Chosen One?
I
mean, we've already-
Or Luke?
Right, I was gonna say we've already had we've already had a little bit of a debate about that with the Rebels. Like, people, like, fucking Star Wars Twitter fucking exploded. Like, what the fuck does it mean? But
That's true. Obi-Wan does not think Anakin is the Chosen One. He thinks it's Luke. But what if neither of them is the Chosen One? Because neither of them... I mean, maybe Force Ghost Luke brings ultimate balance to the Force in Rise of Skywalker, but it seems unlikely at this point. Like, what if we haven't encountered the Chosen One yet?
What if it's Rey and they're... No, I don't know. She has parents. They're bad.
I mean, it's Rey because JJ wanted her to be a Skywalker, but whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the answer is E. There's not enough information to to solve the equation. Yeah, I don't know.
Kate, if you give your kids multiple choice quizzes, don't make there be an E. That's too many choices.
They're not getting multiple choice quizzes. They're getting
Essay
write
quizzes.
a poem and don't make it shitty.
Oh, that's good. That's a good quiz. Don't make them memorize things, so it's really hard for some of us.
Really?
Hey, I had to do that, obviously, as an English minor. And, like, it was panic attack inducing. So, like...
Oh, God.
I just don't think it's fair.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's legit.
Just telling you.
Kristen's soapbox for the day. I
That's
respect that.
Kristen's soapbox for the day. Don't make people memorize things.
Chris's soapbox for the day. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Speaking of what the fuck is this shit? What the fuck is a Dark Jedi? Because that shit got mentioned, and I was like, the hell is this?
I was like legitimately so mad that was in there. So, Dark Jedi has a history in Legends. I don't really know. I haven't read enough Legends to know what the difference between a Sith and a Dark Jedi is, or if it's just that they didn't use the term Sith because it wasn't widely circulated. I don't know. Somebody who knows Legends, feel free to enlighten me there. But I think I've
Sith
gone on
is a slur.
Oh, Jesus. I feel like I've gone on my Grey Jedi rant on this podcast before. Gray Jedi are not a thing. Dark Jedi are not a thing. The Jedi are an organization, not an ideology.
Okay.
The
So
end.
I'm kind of hoping that like Dark Jedi is some sort of historical term where a specific group actually called themselves Dark Jedi. That's how I'm justifying it to myself, and I will not hear any arguments.
Well, it sounds like the dad of that Dark Jedi was really fucked up, so
Yeah.
that's what I took away from it.
All right, and that takes us to the end of this Book Wars Pod Classic episode, the original cast.
Aww.
I was gonna say got the band back together, but the band's been together. We just don't have burp.
The band is a trash fire, as always.
Original trash fire. The trash fire that everybody knows was bad, but you have nostalgia for. Thank you for listening. Next episode, we're going to be finishing up Master and Apprentice, reading chapter 26 to the end. In the meantime, hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, at BookWarsPod. Email us, bookwarspod@gmail.com, and rate, review, and subscribe to us and the Tashi Station Radio Mega Feed on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. It is the best way for people to discover the show. It's the best way for us to grow our audience, so we really do hope that you'll leave us a rating and a review. If you have the means and you're so inclined, please donate to the Tashi Station Radio Patreon and give us coffee at ko-fi.com/bookwarspod. You'll notice that we posted a video of Porkchop rampaging angrily across a Star Wars Legion playfield this week. That is courtesy of an incredibly generous coffee donation from Daniel at Ty_Dandy on Instagram. I don't remember you on Twitter at the moment, Daniel, but you can find him. He's great. And he is the reason why you guys got Porkchop content. So if you like that, there's more where that came from. Give us coffee.
Thank you,
Our
Daniel.
theme song is Whiz Bang by Poddington Bear. Our logo and artwork are by Joby Terra Design. Thank you so much for listening to episode 98 of the Book Wars Pod. For Kate and Kristen, I'm Chris, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Meow. Chris, you're still muted as you're talking.
No, but I'm not on that.
You're not on what?
I'm plugged into that. So, like, the fact that you can hear me means it's recording.
Yes.